Hello and welcome to Fragmaster's GTI Thursday 2022. This is the fifth round of the championship and the second time we are broadcasting this year, with the GTI class at Rockingham National this time. Remarkably, the first time we've ever broadcast anything at Rockingham National in the 2 years we've been doing this. I'm Peter Butcher and I'm joined by Zdravko Topolnjak tonight in the commentary box. Zdravko, welcome along.
Good evening, everyone.
So, Zdravko, we've had a long qualifying session and we have some results to show people. But first of all, let's take a look at what is going on in the series so far. We have had 5 rounds, of which 2 have been streamed by us. We streamed round 1 at Aston Club. That was a fun one. But tonight we are at Rockingham National for round 5 of the championship. Rockingham National uses the infield section of the Rockingham Autodrome, and it's a bit of a weird one because it has the school straight and the school straight pit lane, an immediate right-hand turn, a series of wiggles, and then you end up at Gracelands and back to Tarzan, and that completes your lap. 2.7 kilometers, 1.7 miles, a 30-minute qualifying session has completed, and we are going racing in about 2 minutes' time. So lots to talk about before then, including the cars that we have today, which are both. We only had the XFG last time out, and we've got both GTI cars in attendance. The 1.3 litre inline-4 front-engined XFG and the 1.8 litre inline-4 front-engined rear-wheel drive XRG. Those will be the cars we are using today. In the Drivers' Championship, we have a Renault Coutts at the top with Yarmalo in P2. TJ Fatal, Rayman, Rick 98, Twin Cam, Botsy, Mantis, and Owner round out the top 10. And in our Teams Championship, we have 19 teams, I believe, that were represented throughout the championship so far. Born to Race are leading with 635 points. So, Zdravko, let's very quickly talk about the results of the qualifying session we've just had, the 30-minute session, which was headed by TJ.
Yeah, it was very close. TJ is only 0.01 second faster than Yarmalo. We got Iron Donny, FM Fero, and BMW causing top 5. Most of the grid runs XFG. Only 2 cars are with XRG.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had 40 qualifiers in the end, and that's all we've got time for. That's all she wrote. We are at the grid already. It is time to go for our 42-lap race around this awesome little track. And as I said before, it is the first time we have run this circuit in our channel's history. So there we are.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. It's a tight, twisty track.
Here we go. The lights are about to go out, and we are looking all the way down the school straight towards TJ, who pulls away in a, well, I expected a flash of tyre smoke, but we didn't get any. But here we go as we run down to the first corner. It is TJ who leads. It's going to be a pack race, this, isn't it, Zdravko?
Yeah, there are not many opportunities for overtaking, but with these cars, you can rub a bit with other cars, so I'm guessing some will take opportunity and do exactly that.
Yeah, it looks like a clean affair through the first few corners. TJ has made it through, well, most of the lap already, actually. We come to the infield of the infield, it's fair to say. This track definitely spirals in on itself. We're not using the oval today. We're using only the infield parts of the track. And weaving through towards Piff Path. We're not going to go through Path, but we've gone through Piff. And as we head around Gracelands, we have a drama further back. Fatal has dropped off.
Yeah, Fatal picked a bit of grass. He lost position to Cozy, and now he's under attack from Rayman. The guys here have to be very careful not to touch grass, because all the time you have turns, so every loss of grip will be noticeable.
Unite going for a move on Rick 98 from Road Appraiser here. He's side by side with him still as we go across the start finish to start lap 2 in this race. And Unite is going to have the favourable position, but Yarmalo is going to try and run him around the outside. Unite's dropped a wheel on the grass, and that won't be that. So Rick takes that position back.
Yeah, and Unite will get under attack from Katila now. Katila has the outside. Unite is more aggressive on braking. and manages to pull off.
We ride on board the hood/roof of Yari Katilla, looking over the back of Sidus Unite. Unite, the only Sidus driver here, as Yari goes for a pretty big move on the inside, and he could have that move sealed. Unite just with the nose ahead and will give Yari the space, and that will give him the inside for the next corner. This is a fun track to drive. Yari has managed to get the inside again, going into Gracelands and contact.
They both survived with no damage, but Yari takes the place. That's what I said. A bit of bumping can help you a lot here.
Yeah, and as we go through Tarzan, it's still side by side, and this is giving Pawlowski a go. So Pawlowski in the pink car just at the back of shot, and he's going in for his pit stop. So one thing we alluded to mention is that drivers in the 1 hour feature must make a pit stop. They don't have to do any work. They just have to drive in and drive out, and that's what Pawlowski's doing. He's just stopped in his box, and he's going to drive straight away. He didn't want to get involved in that fight, Zdravko, with Unite and Yari. He decided to just pit early. Not what I would have done. Is that a normal strategy in GTI Thursday?
I would say on this track I would not pit. I would definitely not pit because it's inevitable you will catch up to the slowest guys in the field, and then it's very hard to pace here, as we see. So he was in pit 12, something like that. It's high up the order enough for me to stay out.
Unite has made it back past Yari Katilla. We just saw that a moment ago as they drove through Yentwood. And yeah, Yari slightly dropping back now into the hands of Paul and Waleski here. Maybe a move is on. Yari showed good aggressive pace there, trying to get past Unite, but it seems to have gone away. Rick98, meanwhile, he's on a move. He's trying to look around the outside on Mandula. Mandula running a race green livery for once as he heads onto the steel straight. I guess you have to represent your own team when you're driving in an event that isn't run by race green, as he heads into the first corner, and Mandula keeps the place for now.
Yeah, there's also a look ahead of those two cars attacking Texas. So that's a group of 4 cars. They lost a bit of touch with top 5, but they also managed to break away a bit from Unite.
Paulin Waleski is doing a bit of rally crossing. He's rejoined at turn 4 and heading through turn 5 now. He's going to be at a bit of a disadvantage, and that's going to let Tallenberg draw up alongside him and get the place into Yentwood. No switchback on offer either, and potentially a further place being lost, potentially to Ivanov, who's having a look now around the outside. Not able to hold it, though, on this occasion.
There was a bit of contact between Ivanov and Waleski, but both cars managed to get out of it without too big damage.
Yarmalo has the fastest lap currently, but as we come across start-finish, let's see whether that changes. We still have 39 of the 40 cars that started in the race, and no, Yarmalo still claims the fastest lap of the lead 2 at least. And yeah, he's got good pace. He's only 7/10 off, not letting TJ run away. Meanwhile, Donny further back, almost 2 seconds now the gap, and he's got company from Cozzy further down the road. This is a great little chicane here, really tricky, and you don't want to run too wide here. The curbs are not generous here, are they, Zdravko? They're very, very small compared to some of the fictional tracks we've got in Live for Speed.
Yeah, but they're enough. These cars run on road tires, so even if you go a bit with, especially if you go a bit on the grass with the rear tires, it's not that big of an issue.
Let's take a look at Mandula. So there's some action going on over here.
It looks like Unite has managed to join the party with Texas, Luke, Mandula, and Rick98. It looks like Texas has the least pace at the moment of this whole group because Luke and Mandula are all over him.
Yeah, so Texas is leading this group of 5. And then there's Luke from Road Appraiser, and then Mandula from Race Green as they head into Tarzan now. The camera we're watching from is helpfully placed on top of the actual timing tower. A little bit of contact, a little bit of lag, but that is Texas going wide. And it's going to be a 3-wide situation potentially across the line. Mandula has a favourable position, but is he lifting off? Is he lifted off? He's not gone for the move. Texas has drawn back alongside.
I think there was a bit of touch between Texas and Luke, and that kind of slowed down Luke, and Mandula just got blocked. Meanwhile, Knight has managed to pick up 2 cars from this group already. He passed Rick and Mandula in half of a lap.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what Mandula was doing there. He had an opportunity to make a move and elected to slow down. Texas got him into a bad position, and that's allowed Unite to make up a bunch of places. And he's making another move here. He's on the inside of Texas as we're going to Yentwood, and that will be moved done.
And Texas will lose place to Mandula and Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a danger when you go off the racing line in this kind of a track, because that means you're offline for next 2-3 turns, because turns are coming up fast.
Oh, a nice little scrap, and yeah, highlighting once again that GTIs really are pack racing machines. You make one mistake and you drop down four cars, and that's what happened there. And yeah, Unite making good progress, but again, slightly out of position in the qualifying session. Maybe front wheel drive isn't his thing this week. Let's look further back to Zdravko. Just these guys. Here's Kig for Master Race Car. He's got Wujek ahead of him and Chameleon behind him from the Sim Racing Polska team.
Yeah, it looks like Dalhenberg is attacking Chameleon. He backs out of the attack in turn 1, but Chameleon goes a bit wide, so this will give some overspeed to Talha, and he goes for it. Chameleon lifted on that turn. He manages to survive the turn, so that's a place done. As we have Kig and Wujek 1 place ahead of that scrap. Kig is really interested into passing.
Yeah, not interested enough to go for a move, just decided to follow and then outbraked himself in sympathy. And that's allowed Wujek to pull a little bit ahead. Meanwhile, Iron Donny's got the fastest lap, and he's gradually reading in the front 2 again. And it looks like Texas is about to lose a place to Yari Katilla, who's woken up. Here he comes. Gracelands, job done.
That was a sweet move.
Yeah,
looks like Yari likes this track.
This is going to be a tasty battle up front. It looks like Iron Donny has found his groove and is slowly reeling in the top 2 again. He was dropping back slightly, but now he is getting closer. He has the fastest lap at the moment. Twin Cam and Ona side by side. Ona, who stunned the world at the weekend and then had some bad luck, gaining a place there on Twin Cam. Slightly different car from what he was driving on Sunday.
It looks like Texas will want to take that place back from Katilla. That's just the fight ahead of Twincam. He's a lot more eager now than he was a few laps ago.
I mean, when you're getting gut punch after gut punch, being overtaken, your blood does boil a little bit, and you do dig deep to find some pace, but sometimes that can just make things worse. Texas is certainly fired up, trying to get past Yari Katilla here for the cusp of the top 10. But if he pushes too hard, he risks getting caught by Ona, who has dropped Twin Cam now and is all over the back of him.
Yeah, Honor actually has fastest lap, and Texas goes a bit wide. So this brings him closer to Honor than to Katilla. Honor will be in a good position now for turn 1. He goes tight on the exit. This will cut his speed off, but yeah, he's behind Texas for now. Let's see what he does on the braking zone. Texas manages to get out of turn 1 cleanly. That's a big danger if he goes to the grass on the exit there. that puts Honor in a really good position. So for now, Honor just follows, as Texas goes a bit on the grass, but not enough for Honor to capitalize on.
Side by side further back, this is Hachiroku, who's joined the Sim Racing Polska team. He's in a side by side fight with this is Foreigner and 136. Oh, and there's contact between the two Born to Race teammates there, was it? Or was it? Yes, it was the Born to Race teammates. Not using the same livery, hopefully. And it is progress for Foreigner, who makes up 2 places there. Meanwhile, your teammate Zdravko is getting stuck in. One of only 3 Fragmaster drivers in this race, battling with Kozzy, who's made it up to P4, and Rayman in P6.
Yeah, that's still he's still suffering from that early off, where Kozzy managed to get ahead of him. It's really painful to lose a position on this track because it's so hard to regain it. Big of a problem why it's so hard to overtake here is because the field is so close. At the moment for the fastest lap, I think that there are 7 or 8 drivers in a tenth of a second.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that when you look at the times at the front. You see Donny dropping off the lead, kind of staying around the same back to Yarmalo, but even though he has the fastest lap, it's only marginally quicker, so it's not a true indication of his all right pace. Here we've got Cho from Air Support Racing under attack then from 136. 136 goes for the move, goes a bit deep. That's going to open the door a little bit for Cho, and Cho has the inside. We've seen the outside work, but that's too far back. And that's going to let the SRP guys get involved, is it? Unless they're having their own inter-team battle. 136 isn't done here. He's trying to find a way back, but giving up time and giving up tyres by the sounds of it. Here comes Wujak. He's going to try for a move. Is he? No, not into Gracelands. Probably smart, that.
Depends. 136 goes a bit wide here. Where goes for the inside.
Big send.
Yeah, he was smart on the brakes. He went for the inside but did not overshoot the corner. But it's status quo for now.
Yeah, further up, Pavlovsky was going for a move. He was side by side with Igor, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, these two running similar liveries. Kind of difficult to tell. One of them Road Appraiser, the other one MRC. They're chasing Ivanov very hard. Ivanov going a bit sideways into that corner.
Well, Ivanov has tire problems. His rear tires are red. So that won't help him in some turns.
Yeah, that is less than ideal, considering we're only 11 laps in, and you don't normally change your tyres during a race like this. Even though it's an hour long, it is still a sprint race format. There's no need to change your tyres.
Yeah, and his rear lets go.
Yeah.
Yeah, his rear just lets go in those tight turns. It's not that big of a problem. The XFG is a front-wheel driven car, but it's still shedding time as Iron Donny goes fastest again with 1:25.20.
Yeah, the top three, only separated by 1.8 seconds as Ivanov basically gifts the position. He's got 2 cars on his outside now. He does have the inside 3 wide through Tarzan. You don't see that very often, but the track is certainly wide enough to let it happen. Bit of a foreshortened view here. Can't really tell who's ahead, but Ivanov still has a nose, or does he? It's a drag race down to the first corner. Ivanov sticks his nose in, and around the outside goes Pavlovsky. Igor on the grass. Foreigner getting out of the way as well.
A Foreigner profited nicely there.
Meanwhile, at the front, that's how close Fatal is to the back of Kozzy. Kozzy trying to defend or hold on to P4 here. He doesn't want to let Fatal claw another place back. And where Fatal's going to go for the next move. Tarzan seems to be a pretty popular place to go for the big send. That is the hairpin coming up just now. If you're not familiar with the Rockingham corner names, he's gone for it. He's going for the move. Cozzy goes wide and lets him take it for now. And that's too wide for a switchback, so
Yeah,
that move is done.
Fatal here made a nice little move where he basically stopped at the apex of a turn for a bit more time than he would normally do, and this allowed Cossi to do a switchback. He basically parked it on the apex.
Cozzy's job might not be done because he's got Rayman right behind him. Born to Race Rayman here, looking to follow Fatal through. Not as easy though. It's not very easy to pass on that section. Certainly, it's certainly one follows one through there, and yeah, the next best place for Rayman will be Tarzan.
Yeah, as we just saw in the picture, there's a car on his side.
Yeah, a very odd place. I mean, that car's been over the sausage curb and needs to remove itself from the race. Obviously, no extra track paraphernalia, no safety cars or anything like that during a space. Just a case of either waiting there or getting out of the race. Unfortunately, that was Yakuza there on his side at Yentwood. TJ, our leader, after 13 laps, it's about to start lap 14. Jarmalo 1 second back, followed by Iron Donny, who still has that fastest lap, but now 3 seconds off of our leader and 2 seconds off of Jarmalo. So not as consistent as he needs to be, Donny, even though he is putting in some quick laps occasionally.
Yeah, Donny lost 6/10 this lap alone.
Well, that shows you in mathematical terms, you do not have to be the fastest over 1 lap to be at the front of the race. It is all about consistency in racing. You have to be quick as well, of course, but you don't have to set the timing screens alight on every lap. You have to do just enough to stay ahead, and that means being consistent. Donny, he's improved a lot over the last year, but yeah, you've still got to be consistent. Ivanov in the pit lane to Zdravko.
Yeah, and he did not elect to change tires, so he will have to survive whole race with the hot tires.
Yeah, interesting. Here we go. This is Mandula being followed by Luke from Road Appraiser. Mandula in a Road Appraiser sandwich here, although Rick 98 is a little bit further up the road. Mandula defending P9 from Luke. They head into Gracelands, and that's still Jari Katila in the background. That's Jari does like the XFG, it has to be said. Strong positions always in the XFG for him. And Pekka Koivunen, who is normally outdoing Jari on pace these days, is in P12, just behind. But here we are, Mandula running up to start finish, opened a bit of a gap over Luke, and enough to be safe into turn 1.
So for P20, we have Foreigner and Igor going at it. Igor tried for an inside, but for now it's not working. So for now, his best hope is Foreigner going wide on turn 1. Igor also went wide. So that's the same for both cars. It's a tricky curb on the exit of turn 1. If you go too wide, you can lose the car on it. So it's always best to just keep it on the road.
Yeah, and we've definitely seen that this section of the track down to Yentwood and up to Pif-Paf is just it's a procession. As this car, Yakuza's car, is still parked very nicely in our camera shot there on his side, not wanting to get out of the way. People honking their horns as they drive past, saying hello. Fair enough. It's probably going to leave it there to the end of the race. But we still follow Igor as we've got a car going very wide. Is that a back marker off the track there, Zdravko?
That's Topolnjak. That's for position.
That's for position. So Tallenberg has gone extremely wide and hasn't managed to get the car back off on the road, and has lost a load of positions. That was a lot.
Yeah, he slotted right behind Poblowski.
Grata and Cho side by side. In fact, Cho being being shown the grass. Sorry, no, Cho's ahead. That's who is that? It's GRT Eiserwurst. Going around Tarzan now.
We can call him just GRT.
Okay. (136) has made it past Tallenberg as well. So Tallenberg losing out on another position for good measure.
Yeah, I wonder what's happening because the car does not look like it's damaged.
Maybe just some distraction. Let's ride on board as we watch Tallenberg head into Yentwood again. See if there's anything going on as we have a 136 miles an hour on two wheels, almost joining Yakuza in the gravel trap. As we have a move further forward, Igor having a look on Foreigner. Is there going to be contact? Igor clips the sausage curb. You've got to be careful of that sausage curb because you can end up in the same issue as Tallenberg, running wide and then having to scrabble for grip, trying to get back on. And it just doesn't work sometimes. Or you can do what Yakuza did and flip. Igor not able to make up the place on Foreigner just yet. Wuyak's having a look on 136 miles an hour into Tarzan. Yeah, he is. In fact, he's going for the move on the inside, but backs out of it. He's done that before, and that does force 136 off his line slightly, and gives Wuyak a bit of a tow down the school straight. Not a long run this to turn one. Rockingham is not a big track in the first place, so the straights aren't very long. Cho, meanwhile, is under attack a little bit from Strutter and GRT. Pretty sure that's the team name because of climbs.
Yeah, it is.
But Ishaverst, we should give it a go. We should try it, even if it's wrong. Ishaverst in the mix, very much in the mix. Got past your teammate.
Yeah, so Joe's really defending. I think that Strider tried to attack, and probably he was offline, so he lost a place. But that's not done for him. It looks like Joe is the guy that is slowing down this mini train. Estrada drove. That's an aggressive try. Oh, that's a nice switchback. So Dallenberg was off the track, and 136 mph manages to do a switchback. Maybe he does not hit the sausage curb this lap and manages to keep the position. It looks like he will be fine. As we have Isenwurst going off the track, that puts Strider alongside for turn 2. Isenwurst survives but goes wide again. So Strider goes through the grass but manages to overtake for now. Let's see how the exit speeds are.
Tallenberg is having trouble staying on the track, Zdravko here. He's having a pretty bad time of it.
Yeah, he must have been off like 5 times already.
As Yari Katilla comes into the pit lane. Let's get a look at him. He won't do any work. He'll just pull up and drive straight back out of his box.
So for the moment, we still have TJ leading and Yarmola closely following. So this will be interesting. In few laps, they will catch first blue flag guys. So when they catch the cars that are down by a lap, do you pit if you're a Yarmola? Do you risk it and bank on TJ losing time in the traffic?
I would honestly, in this position, I would stay having track position. If you've got a massive gap that you can slot back into, sometimes it can be better. But I often find it easier to follow than I do to run alone at this sort of track. So I would stay where I was, pile the pressure on, let TJ know that you're still there, and push, push. Interestingly, Tilo Falkenberg, who is responsible for all of our static graphics that we have on the broadcast, he's let us know that Ishaverst's name, I'm pronouncing that horribly, I know, means in German it's just a sausage. So there we are. And apparently it's an idiom that means I don't care.
It's just a word.
Just a word. An idiom, apparently. So we can call him sausage. In fact, we probably shouldn't. TJ, our leader, will have mirrors full soon of Yarmalo, who is, he's not going away. And while we were talking about Ishaverst, Strutter has finally managed to get past.
Yeah, but it's still not over. He did not manage to run away.
Jonon is looking at the back of Kig. This is JTM Jonon, a name I'm not familiar with, Zdravko. Maybe you are. But giving the MRC driver a run for money as... Who is that going sideways in the background?
That was Onur.
It was Ono, yeah.
Yeah. So he lost the place to Chameleon as Jonon goes for a send. And he manages to do it. Rookie tried to take the inside. I don't think he has the run. Let's see if he tries to outbrake in turn 1. No, he does not. I'd say it was probably smarter just to slot in. Turn 1 is such a hard place to overtake.
Oh, Kig's looking at it. He's trying to line up the move somewhere. I don't think it's going to be on, is it? I mean, this is not a part of the track where you normally overtake unless car goes off.
Maybe it will be now.
There we go. Foreshadowing. There's a nose inside, and it's going to be side-by-side, a procession through the next corner, and then late on the brakes for Yentwood if you want to get past here, Kig. It's not going to be enough, is it?
Well, he's going to be... John got a bit wide, so maybe it is. Just avoid the sausage curve here.
Good perseverance. He's finally made it, but he's cost them both a ton of time. And we're going to get Chameleon in the mix here too. Let's do some. We love a bit of onboard action around Rockingham. It's such a good-looking track in the for speed. You forget how good it looks sometimes when you're focusing on the racing. Easily the most photorealistic track in LFS at the moment, but that might all be about to change with the upcoming graphics update. Chameleon then is looking to make up some places. He's currently P15, and can he make up a couple with Jonon and Kig taking each other out or something? We haven't seen anything like that yet as Kig goes in the pits.
That was a late call.
A bit late, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, you have plenty of time to decide to go over to the left as you exit out of Tarzan. Almost better to go early because you don't give the car behind a tow. Anyway. Kig has come out behind Pabluski, so he's going to have a bit more traffic to deal with. He has got some space, but I reckon at the moment Kig's pace is better, or rather faster, than those two ahead who are fighting.
Yeah, so that's behind Chameleon and John Nan. Onur and Magic are fighting now for a position as Magic goes for a send. Oh. They both survive. It's a great job from both.
I don't think I've ever heard you make that noise before. It was quite entertaining.
Yeah, it looked scary. It looked scary for a second. Yeah, but these guys are all great drivers. It's interesting how on that turn, Magic was on the inside, but because of that sausage curb, inside is not really a preferred way to go there.
Climbs v Tallenberg is spicing up in the background, P25 and P26. That is Climbs going for the move on the inside, and that will be job done, I think. It will. Twin Cam has left the race. He got a drive through and bailed. So that was P11 gone for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean it's sad to see it happen, but yeah.
Oh, what happened there? I think Tallenberg decided to. I don't know. He got on the brakes, even though climbs had given him plenty of room, and that's hampered his pace coming out onto the school straight a lot. Actually, he's dropped way back. So Tallenberg's race.
I wonder what's the problem. Something has to be wrong with that car.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
so.
Maybe it's engine damage or something, but something is definitely wrong with that car.
Yeah, it's definitely not a happy car right now. As we focus again on our leader, as who was that going into the
And
pits?
your
It was
Molo
John
pits.
Marlowe going to the pits.
So that's the same time that TJ caught traffic. Your Molo pitted, but he made a mistake. He missed his pit stop box.
Yeah, so that's going to cost him time. He might even fall into the clutches of Donny with that one. But Donny's dropped even further back. So Donny's not had a good few laps. 5 seconds now from TJ. TJ may just have turned up the wick slightly, but yeah, Donny's inconsistencies are hurting him for this podium. Here we go, Magic side by side with Owner again, and Owner managing to stay ahead again. That's John On that's gone in the pit lane. Jarek Tiller's also been in the pit lane. Oh yeah, we saw that on stream earlier. Yeah, Magic struggling to find a way past here, Zdravko. He really is getting held up now, I think.
Well, I mean the best chance here is just to pile up pressure, see if the guy ahead goes a bit wide, and if that doesn't happen, just do a sent into the hairpin. It's that kind of a track where if you want to go past, you have to take a bit of a risk. As Magic goes a bit wide on the braking.
United's going for a pit stop. Let's see what he does. He's pitting from quite a good position here. He's overshot his box slightly, just enough, and then he pulls away as he disappears past camera there.
So he manages to rejoin in 8th position. That's great considering that he was lower than that at the start of the race. And Unite does hold the fastest lap at the moment.
Yep. And as we head to TJ, he is opening up an even bigger gap now. Donny has closed up slightly, but yeah, TJ is just on another level. These cars aren't particularly fast. Okay, they're not slow, but they're not particularly fast. So gaps that look small are actually not small at all, are they, Zdravko? Because the margins in these cars are so small.
Yeah, it's very hard to find. It's very hard to find time over your opponent. It's not like I don't know, F1 cars where it's very easy to find 2-3 tenths per lap. Here, if you find a second per 10 laps, you're awesome. So a lot of time field is very close. There's close racing and it's hard to overtake with no speed overlap.
Owner and Chameleon having another heated battle. Very confusingly, Owner. Owner has now gapped Magic a little bit. There we are. So he's closing up to the back of Chameleon himself. He needs to get past now because Magic obviously has the pace to to cause him some harm as he gets a little bit of a wiggle on, and that's not going to help him. There is no exit curb there, which is a bit of a strange one considering that this is, this infield circuit is quite nice. There's no actual exit curb out of turn 1. So dropping the wheels on the grass there is quite a common theme, as Owner has a move. Oh, but Chameleon goes for a bit of an aggressive defense, and there's contact, but Owner is through. for now.
Yeah,
Switch
but
back on.
Chameleon has the exit speed and the inside for the next turn.
And Magic, all he has is a great view of a nice fight because he can't get close enough to get involved. You can see him soaring away at the wheel, trying to find the grip. But he needs to pick his battles here. He needs to try and back off from this and go for it into Tarzan if these two come together. He's a bit close going through Gracelands. You can't get a good exit if you're on the brakes halfway around Gracelands. He's going to try and squeeze, but I think Owner's too target fixated on Chameleon. Goes for a bit of a move. Give each other plenty of room. And will Magic have a good run here, I wonder?
Oh, it all depends what happens in turn 1 with Chameleon and Honor. Chameleon pushes Honor a bit to the inside. So he wants him to take the tight line, but Honor forces the issue and Magic will go through, I think.
Yeah, and I'll correct myself. There is an exit curve there at the exit of turn 1. It's just very small. And there we are. Magic was patient, and that's what you get for being patient sometimes in a race with these cars. You get the opportunity to slip past when everyone else is fighting. Chameleon actually there, he dropped back away, didn't he? He dropped quite a way back, almost into the clutches of Foreigner and Yari, who are side by side, and not anymore. Foreigner comes out ahead.
Yeah, let's see. It does not look like Honor is done. Honor wants that place back from Magic. Yeah, let's see. Through this fast turn. Magic has a bit better tires, so there's a bit more grip available to him.
Yeah, I mean,
he does survive the hairpin.
When we saw the cars at this point in the last lap, Owner was knocking on the door of Chameleon. He wasn't really that fussed about Magic. He dropped him, so you expect Owner to close up again here, and these two be glued to each other just outside the top 10. Luke and Mandula are away up the road, though. What is that? Almost, it was over 10 seconds. It's nearly 12 seconds to the cars ahead, so this really is the battle for 12th. And not really much more as we head closer to 3/4 of the way through this race. But yeah, Magic putting up a good defense at the moment to Owner. Let's have a look at P8.
So Unite looked to have clawed the space to Raymond. He was kind of in no man's land before, but after the pit stops, Raymond also did his pit stop, and now Unite is on his tail. And he looks to be trying to overtake.
We've got Donny in the pit lane. Oh, he's already gone past our camera again. But there we are as he exits out into P4. So that was a very, very nice stop. And he's joined with some free air. And as we head back to Unite, it looks like he might have a go on Rayman. No, he doesn't. It's turn 1.
But he has a better line.
Yep.
So let's see what happens for the run to turn 2.
Well, that was a defiant move there, wasn't it? That was Rayman saying, nope, you're not coming through there. I'm going to close the door. And Unite will have to find another way around. There is some slipstream involved. And these straights that aren't really straights, they still give you a little bit of a slipstream. As you can see, Unite's drawing up to the back of Rayman. Who, will he go for another chop? No, Unite just decides he's not going to go for the move into Yentwood.
Yeah, but gets a tighter apex.
This is a theme, isn't it? A common theme, drivers lining each other up into there. Hasn't worked out on this occasion, though.
Yeah, but what it made was it made Raymond unable to hit the apex because Unite just had a nose in there. So you force him to go on a wider line. And on a track like this, every turn counts. It's like the speed is cumulative with from one turn to another. So it's all about setting up the overtake.
Yeah, meanwhile, while Unite is messing around with Rayman, this is allowing Pekka Koivunen, who's had a bit of a quiet race on our cameras, closing in a little bit. And he's no slouch, so once he catches up, he might want to have a fight too, as Unite goes for Ascend into turn 1, forces Rayman wide, but picks up some grass, which won't help, and Rayman's just going to He's going to have an opportunity to keep this position into the little chicane we've got here. Donny's gone wide apparently, and Yarmalo's managed to get past. So that's a change up at the front as Rayman successfully makes that move. But here we are. Donny has lost a place. Oh, that's unusual.
So that's, I mean, he stayed out for 10 laps and managed to get a place on strategy, and he lost it immediately. That has to feel bad for him.
Yeah, I didn't actually pick up on the fact that he did jump Yarmalo, but it just hasn't worked out after the stop. So unlucky, I guess. Fatal currently in a good position here. He needs to put the laps in now if he wants to make up any places, because he hasn't stopped yet. So as soon as he does, we will see where he comes out. Likewise, we'll see where Cozzy comes out. But as you can see, Yarmalo and Donny aren't that far behind, so probably they will come out where they were before.
Yeah, I think that Fado should be thanking Rayman for holding up Unite for so long. Because if Unite gets into that pocket of fresh air, if he passes Rayman, he will be a danger for Fado later in the race.
Pekka Koivunen could be a danger to both these guys, even though he's kind of carving his way through the field. He's caught up to two cars who are fighting pretty hard, and Rayman doesn't seem to be hitting his apexes. We haven't seen him for a while. There he is, just poking out, because Unite's just been taking tighter lines through the infield, and as Rayman kicks up another bit of grass, definitely hitting the apex there. This allows Pekka Koivunen to close back up. Again, Rayman wide and holding Unite up. Koivunen is yet to pit as well.
Yeah, so an interesting fact about the speed of the guys that we are watching. Fastest lap at the moment is TJ. Second fastest lap in the race is Pekka Koivunen, and third fastest lap is Unite.
Okay, interesting.
So these guys have speed.
Yeah, and they're battling for the top 10, so that really does put it into perspective. And yeah, these guys are glued together now. And it does seem as though Rayman is our cork in the bottle, and he doesn't seem to be having a very fun time defending from Unite. Maybe he is. Maybe he is having a fun time holding up second place man in RTFR last season.
He definitely has fun. It's always better fun to fight than to drive alone, I think. And I'm just wondering, Unite is driving with H shifter on a track like this. That has to be hard.
Yeah, he'll be ordering a new shifter in no time, because he'll be wearing it out, I imagine, around here. It's a lot of different, a lot of gear changes around Rockingham National, and that's a lot of apex he's taken there.
I would say that was beyond the apex.
Yeah, a little bit.
I wonder why he doesn't try that where the sausage curb is.
Big dive here from Ivanov. That is Ivanov on Tallenberg. Tallenberg, who started quite high up, didn't he, Zdravko? I think. Can't remember quite where, but down to P28 now for Tallenberg. That is a drop. That is a drop and a half.
Yeah.
The race just hasn't gone his way. He's almost going to get lapped, in fact.
This series has a points reward for highest climber. I'm not sure Hamburg got the memo about how the highest climber works. It does not go down, it just goes up.
Yeah, the issue with the highest climber prize is that if you're someone like TJ, you don't get it very often because you normally qualify well and finish well. So, yep, he'll be focusing on his wins rather than his highest climber points. But here we are, Rayman and Unite back together again. Looks like Rayman's just got a slight advantage, but here comes Pekka Koivunen.
He basically slapped Unite with his car. That's a statement of intent. Unite will not get through easily.
No, and I can imagine that Pekka Koivunen is thinking the same. If Unite can't get through Rayman, how on earth am I going to manage it? So I think Pekka might just be patient.
Yeah, I think Pekka has to play the magic game.
Yeah, exactly.
As Rayman goes wide onto the grass. Oh.
So Pekka keeps his nose all the way into the back of Unite and even makes contact, and that's not going to help at all. That was aggression at the wrong point, and Rayman, fair play to him, he's gone off the road, but he's not afraid to stick his nose on the inside of Unite again immediately after losing the place.
Pekka will stick his nose now.
Yeah, it has to, but it's just too...
They survived.
Yeah,
the outside line here just gives more speed.
Gone for a big send on the inside again, and this is the thing. He's been watching Rayman now for a few laps, and he knows that Rayman's not been hitting his apexes as well, so he may as well go for these sends on the inside and see what happens. Unite's now giving him a bit of a gap, so there is no harm at all in just going for a big move, but not enough time to do that into turn one, as they both throw up some dust again.
Yeah,
Unite's been released. It took him a while.
Yeah, to me it looks like Pekka is a bit more aggressive than Unite was. So if he has the speed, he will dispatch Rayman faster than United. But that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how much time Unite's managed to gain, but it also shows how much overspeed and how much faster you have to be to actually make the move. As Pekka goes for it, but he's not going to have the move because the outside just seems to be slightly better there. Really, really hard to get past effectively around here.
Yeah, I mean, Pekka outbraked himself a bit, and on this kind of track, he was still braking while Rayman already started accelerating and just showed in a race to next apex, Rayman was ahead. But it also showed what I said, he will be more aggressive than Unite, and he will definitely try to outbrake Rayman here. He shows him the inside. Yeah. A bit of a handbrake for a hairpin. Rayman did courteously give a lot of space to Pekka. So he is aware that Pekka might send one day inside, but he also knew that he has the better exit speed on the outside.
Yeah, since Donny went in the pit lane, TJ has pulled another 2 seconds out on Fatal, so TJ is running away here. Yarmarlo and Donny are 16 and 17 seconds back, respectively. So TJ is on mighty form here. However, sooner or later, he's going to be catching up to more backmarker traffic. He has 3 currently ahead of him. So is this the time where TJ thinks, all right, I've got a big buffer, let's go in the pit lane?
I would say yes, but yeah, no. I was thinking he was going to pit.
Exactly, I was waiting.
It looked like that.
Waiting for it.
Yeah. If he goes to pits now, he is in kind of a danger to rejoin just behind Kossi, and that might hurt his race.
We've got 2 pink cars chasing after Yari. That is Igor and Ex-Pabluski. These two have been together the whole race, and I think, has Yari managed to get past, or is Yari being caught? I can't work it out. I think Yari may have.
He
got
was
past.
ahead before.
Yeah.
As Pekka goes into pits. Yeah, so he decided to.
Got a drive-through penalty as well. So unfortunately, he was getting held up a little bit by Rayman, but not as much as he's held himself up now, as he'll have to go through the pit lane. So that's unfortunate for Pekka. He had good pace, potentially a top 10 on the cards as well.
Well, at least it's not a long pit lane. Drive-through here can be more than 10 seconds, I think.
Fatal's gone in the pits while we were talking about that, and that promotes Kozzy to P2. Of course, he's got a pit as well. And yeah, Yarmarlo and Donny are, well, they've slightly closed up to TJ, but they are going to be fighting each other. So I think TJ can, as long as he doesn't get held up or make a mistake, he can breathe a sigh of relief here. He's done a really, really, really good job out front. Currently got the fastest lap as well, but no signs of him going in the pit lane, and that backmarker traffic is getting a little bit bigger in his windscreen. Ozzy's come in the pit lane. Let's see if we can get him on our pit camera. No, we can't.
It looked like he missed the. It looked like he missed his pit stop box. Yeah, and he lost time to Fatal.
So Kozzy
So,
rejoins in P6.
Unite is 2.5 seconds behind Kozzy now.
Owner's come in the pits, and he's already lost a couple of places to Chameleon, Yari, Babluski, and Igor, and Kid goes through too. So yeah, definitely not Owner's race, but he had some fun fights, and it's not over yet.
Yeah, he's gonna get 136 mph behind him.
We should probably give some attention to Quick Mick, who is the first XRG we've seen on the entire coverage so far of FM GTI Thursday. And that's it. We're not going to see him again.
Well,
TJ.
he's basically a leader of his class.
Yeah, exactly. Leading the class around. There is one out there, the lesser spotted XRG on the Sim Broadcast's FM GTI Thursday coverage, but TJ's had to get past a back marker on his pursuit. We have some battles going on. Sorry, Rick's been in the pits. We have a crash between Yari and Chameleon, which we've entirely missed. Oh no, Yari's gone off again in sympathy. Igor got caught up too. So those two pink cars still absolutely glued together with Kig. Kig's managed to get past all of these guys. It's crazy towards the end of the race. Although Chameleon goes in, Kig's about to get swallowed by Igor here. Chameleon's missed his pit box apparently, and we'll have to find another one. But as the laps tumble down, no sign of TJ going in the pits, and he has been held up slightly, I think.
Well, he's catching Ivanov and Zdravko. So I really wonder if he will pit. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, there we go. So this is for the lead of the race.
Don't miss the box.
See what he does.
He does not miss the box.
Pulls up perfectly. And he will be out perfectly. And Yarmalo and Donny are only just exiting the final corner. And that is all she wrote. TJ resumes the lead of the race with a 12-second gap. It's a little bit phenomenal, that. Not going to be that much once
it's
they're up
5
to speed.
seconds. Yeah, it's 5 seconds gap, but it's
right.
still a lot. It was under a second when Yarmalo pitted. So TJ made 4 seconds during his stint.
And there's a good effort that as our timing finally updates, and yes, 5.09 seconds the gap as Mandula rejoins, and immediately Luke falls off the track behind him in sympathy, opening the door for Pekka Koivunen, who will make probably one final place in this race. Will he? Yes, he will, around the outside into P10. So it could be a top 10 for Pekka. That will be a good result after the race he's had. He'll be a little bit sour that Rayman is slightly further up the road. Oh, yes, and Pekka still has that drive-through. No, he's just done his drive-through. Sorry, there we are. So it is a P10.
I mean, it can be a lot of time drive-through on this track.
Yeah.
It's a short straight. You can drive... How much? You can drive 65 kph because it's Rockingham. But still on the straight, the cars are accelerating from the hairpin. They still don't have that much overspeed over you.
Yeah, it's one of the more forgiving pit lanes to get a drive-through on. Tallenberg's gone in the pit, so he might lose a place or two here, depending on who else has got a pit. He's picked a pretty late pit box. He's missed it.
He did not miss it, but it was close. And had he missed it, it would be the last pit stop.
It would have been a long way round to go and get the pit stop again. Yeah, exactly. So that was almost an error, but not enough, not quite, which is quite precise.
So let's look at the good side of Tallenberg's race. He's still ahead of XRG.
Well, every cloud. Foreigner and Magic are still having a bit of a battle. And yeah, Well, we are.
It looks like Foreigner passed him this lap. So there's a car on the grass.
Oh, who's that off?
That's Carl's. That was a bit scary for a second. I'm just looking, I'm not sure if Igor will survive this. He's almost a half a second away from Pabluski. They haven't been so far apart whole race. As Pabluski is chasing Kig. So Pabluski went wide, and on a grass, I'm thinking this was just in a bid to help Igor catch up again, so they can drive together again.
Yeah, we are approaching the end of the race here. These two have been together since the very beginning. I mean, one of these cars has got more battle scars than the other. Igor has had a bit of a war with some other drivers here. We are close to the end of the race. It's going to be one lap to go, but we've got time to check out the battle for P9 now between Mandula and Pekka Koivunen. Zdravko, take it away.
Yeah, Pekka is very eager to pass. I think he's a bit hurting after that penalty. Let's see, he might be able to line up Mandula for a pass on a hairpin. Just depends if he... Oh, that's a big sand. So he forces Mandula wide. So Mandula now already knows that Pekka will send one in the hairpin. Pekka takes a wide line, has to watch out for the look. It all works out great without crashes, but he lost time to Mandula. So the plan here was probably to go wide, cut into the apex, but he found Luke on the apex and couldn't go. So we have a car on the roof. It's VM Carl's.
That's a shame because that has been 42 laps now. And speaking of, it is TJ who's going to round the final corner to become the winner then of round number 5 as a world-class lines. Oh no, that's Ivanov getting out of the way. TJ weaves it to the line, and that is all she wrote. It is TJ who will be the winner of round number 5 of Fragmaster's GTI Thursday in 2022. Zdravko, he didn't have any competition really here in the second half of the race after Yarmalo and Donny pitted. He had that all wrapped up.
Yeah, looks like it was best just to stay out for him. I mean, when you're in the lead, you just try to go. You try to just save that clear track that you have and try to get some speed. And yeah, it worked out a lot better for him than it worked for Yarmalo.
TJ, Yarmalo, Donny, Fatal, Kozzy, Unite, Rick 98, Rayman, Mandula, and Koivunen round out the top 10 as we have a crash across the line. And of course, it involved Igor and Pabluski. It couldn't be anyone else really, could it? Wuyek's run out of fuel apparently on his run to the line. So that's a slight miscalculation. Hopefully someone sees that, maybe one of his teammates who are out on track at the moment and pushes him around. Then we've got Luke, Foreigner, Magic, Kig, Pabluski, and Igor. It was Pabluski who got the better of Igor in the end. I'm sure he'll be glad to have come out ahead of that battle. Then it's Owner, 136 miles an hour, Yari Katilla, John On, Chameleon, Climb, Strutter, and It's a Sausage. Waiting for a few more cars.
Yeah, Wuyek is without fuel, and that's what is holding the results down.
Yeah, I feel like there's a car just pulled up to start finish and then has reversed off back down to Tarzan. We can just see it driving around the corner, so that's an interesting turn of events. I wonder if that car is off to rescue Wujek. We have a few more confirmed results here. LFS has spectated Wujek, so Wujek will not be classified, unfortunately, in this result. So that is it. We have our results, and let's get a rundown. Winning in 1 hour and 4 seconds, 0.21, it was TJ for Road Appraiser, who we didn't talk about much, really. He won 3.7 seconds in the end ahead of Jan Marlow, who put up a good fight, finishing P2 ahead of Donny, who rounds out our podium 6 seconds back. I do wonder, Zdravko, what would Donny have managed if he'd have been able to be a little bit more consistent with his laps? Because he was certainly gaining on the lead too at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like consistency really pays off here on this track, and he probably pushed harder than top two to get that good lap time, but then had to cool off his tires for a lap or two. And yeah, it's not faster in the long run.
Absolutely not. Fatal. Then it's Cozzy, Unite, Rick 98, Rayman, Mandula, and Koivunen rounding out our top 10. So even with a drive-through, Pekka Koivunen was able to sneak his way into the top 10. Very, very close with Mandula, but in the end it was Mandula who got the better of him. Luke for Road Appraiser finishes in P11. Then it's Foreigner, Magic, Kig, Pabluski, Igor, Owner, 136 miles an hour, Yari Katila, and John On, who finishes in P20.
So in 21st position we have Chameleon, climbs Strutter. It's a sausage in 24th. Then couple of SRP drivers, Wujek and Herkiroko. 27th was Ivanov, followed by a Rocket. Tehenberg manages to drop down to 29th position, and in 3rd place we have our fastest XRG of the day, Quick Mick. Yeah, he was a quick XRG Mick. So in 31st position we have AS Cho, followed by Bunsarsi with 18 laps down. So after 31st position, there are drivers that did not finish the race. That's Knarsi, Twinkem, Ohnifus, Texas, Yakuza, Villemil, and Paulin Valeski with 39 laps down.
And we can't forget Wujek, who wasn't classified because he was spectated by... Oh, no, he is, though. He's in P25. So there we are. He was classified. Good. That wraps up the action here. Our leaders have decided they aren't going to come to the line for a podium photo. They're probably off in the grandstand somewhere having a bit of fun. So there we are, Zdravko. TJ is apparently in the paddock. Let's have a look at him, see what he's doing in the background. He's got his hazard lights on and he's chilling in the paddock. There is our winner for this event. I enjoyed that one. Rockingham always delivers, especially in a pack race like that, Zdravko.
Yeah, it's really not visible how hard it is to overtake on a track like this. It's like every overtake is a mini masterpiece, and we saw drivers pushing really hard to get into a position to try to do an overtake. It's like you just have to. It's almost like fishing. You have to put a bait and wait and see what happens.
Zdravko, the only person ever to compare racing to fishing. There we are. That concludes the action from round 5 of Fragmaster's GTI Thursday in Live for Speed at Rockingham National. It's always a treat coming to Rockingham in Live for Speed. I really enjoy it, not least because we get to use Chris's amazing cameras. That's everything, Zdravko. Thanks again, and we will see you next time. I think we're back here in March, very early in March for, I think, is it round number 9? I'll have to double check very quickly. We are back here indeed for round number 9. With the combo will be confirmed later on, but we know it's going to be with the GTIs. That's always a nice thing. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you next time. Don't forget to tune in to E-Challenge on Sunday, the second round of E-Challenge by MRC and NDR. That's going to be amazing because we don't know whether it's going to be a wet race or a dry race. Interesting. From all of us here to all of you, have a great night and see you on the next one.